Oh my god, I'm excited. I figured out how to attach my iPad to my computer. It turns out I was just forgetting a step, which, like, go figure. Of course I would forget a step. But now I figured it out! I forgot to plug my adapter into a capture card, which... how did I forget that? I thought the adapter that I had was actually, like, kind of a capture card, I guess, is the problem there. It is not. Now I'm, like, plugged into a bunch of things. I have my capture card plugged in, an HDMI card plugged in, an adapter plugged in. We got a string of cables. Skipping steps. Yeah. Is anybody surprised? Unfortunately, I am not surprised, but... It has been a day. It's been a day. But I'm very excited because that means we can bring our root tubers to life. And I have Vroid over here. It's already open. I didn't skip steps this time. I also have my iPad all plugged in. You can, oh, well, I guess it's a black screen right now, but let me open Procreate so I can prove my proof of concept here. Boom. We've got it. You're better now. You woke up with your throat in pain and slept most of the morning. You took some medicine. Ooh, I'm glad the medicine helped. Medicine is like medicine. It's so good. I hope you have some tea and some rest. I know you said you slept most of the morning, but like, keep that resting up. It's probably because you didn't sleep much a few days ago, and now it's catching up to you. I'm gonna stretch this out a little bit. I can't stretch it down any further. Or can I? Yeah, like that. Could be. Could be! So I have a pretty blank canvas here. I did put, like, just basic clothes on her so that, you know, she's not naked. But I figured we would start with Chantenay Carotte, which I do believe... Where is it? Where is it? Nope. I have it. It's just... There we go. It's behind the Vroid. Come on. There we go. For anybody who needs a reminder of what the character concept is, it's this. I'm thinking like Y2K style outfit with like a cute little satiny top, maybe a carrot belly button ring, some baggy-ish cargo pants. I think it'll be good. Gotta preserve the tuber's dignity. Exactly, exactly. I did go ahead and I set up some eyes. I made these in Procreate last night because I got excited. And she's supposed to have green eyes. I did not pick a sclera though. Should probably do that. I like this one for now. We can always change it later. We'll probably have to give her like different eyeliner and stuff, but I like the irises. I think they're kind of cute. And if you look really closely, there's a little carrot in there. Ooh. But I think the green will go nice in contrast with like all the oranges and stuff. That's the only step that I've made so far. The only step. You're excited to see how it'll turn out? Me too! I'm a little nervous, honestly. But for the outfit, I'm thinking we definitely want to go custom. And we're probably gonna have to start with like just a t-shirt. Probably just a t-shirt. And we can like edit the texture. I'm gonna map everything out first for this character before we even attempt to do any sort of like drawing. Oops. We want it to be, what's it called? Mirrored symmetry. And I'm definitely gonna erase at least the bottom. I don't know how high up I'm going to end up erasing, but we'll figure it out kind of on bod. And I'm going to see if I can move this a little bit. And move this in. I can't move it in any further. Okay. And I'm thinking definitely a crop top. I just don't know how cropped this top will be. I think it's going to go straight across the back because most of these little like bandana style tank tops usually do. We can get rid of the sleeves on both. No sleeves here. And now the question is like, what kind of neckline? Oh, her skin is missing. We'll just fix that real quick. Right quick. Why is her skin... Hold on. Wait, what did I do? Oh, it's because she's wearing a different undershirt. That makes sense. Okay. Well, I'll fix that. I guess we will save both of those. And we will give her, like, a bralette. Yeah. Perfect! I have a square neckline in the picture, but I was thinking a haltered neckline could actually be really cute. The only problem is it doesn't really go up high enough. We might be able to fix that. We'll have to see. We'll have to play around with shape. You had an unpleasant experience of seeing how potatoes can turn into liquid? I am so sorry. I'm so sorry you had to deal with that. It's gross, right? Can take away fabric and people's shoulders. Exactly. I'm nervous to start erasing things. I don't know why. I can always just undo it, but... Like, I'm thinking something like that. And then kind of flat across from where the armpit is. We'll have to adjust the smoothness of that with a smaller brush, but... Something kind of like that. And then I think it's shift and click to move it all at once. I don't want to bring that in anymore. I want to bring that like that. Is that too much booba out? That's probably too much booba out, but I think it'll be better when we tighten up the shirt. I'm hoping I can tighten this the way that I thought I'd want to. I might have to actually switch to the mini t-shirt. Let's see, waist width. Ah, no. -50 maybe? That's just gonna clip into her boobs, so maybe not this t-shirt. But we live and we learn. We live and we learn. Close without saving. We'll hang on to that just in case this next step doesn't fix it. How big is the mini tank top? Or the mini t-shirt? Oh yeah, that'll work. That'll work. It's a lot tighter, so it should give us a better shape for what we want. So I can delete the other t-shirts. And we can edit it here. It was something. Otherwise, people will start thinking she has quite the buff, or she likes to happen when they adapt to manga or anime. That's true, that's true. I don't want to clip into her booba. Oh, I gotta add her skin back again. I totally forgot about... Ah! Nope, that's the eraser. I'm such a professional. I totally know what I'm doing. I have no idea what I'm doing. But it usually turns out all right. Let's see. Something like that. And this is the back, so we can go straight across. See, now there's like a whole little like wonky part right here. Don't know entirely what we're gonna do about that, but maybe like that. Like that. No, like that. Sure. Yeah, that already looks significantly better, in my opinion. She's very head empty so far. We haven't really given her anything on her face or for hair or like different eyelashes or anything. I haven't done much with her at all. I did opt for a skin tone that's more to the orangey side of the color wheel. Like I think I put it like here because she's supposed to be a carrot. So I figured like having a more like warm skin and like using one of the lighter shades of orange would actually like play into the carrot vibe a little bit. I hope. We're going to take a very tiny brush and try to like that maybe. No. There we go. Color's a little weird, but the shape is there. I'm gonna lock this and then I'm gonna make it just like a deeper orange, I think. Nope, not the eraser. Yeah, like that. And then we need an eraser to do like the little triangle thing. Oh, smaller brush, smaller brush. We can do this. Even smaller brush. I'll make that a little more pointy if I can after. And then bring it around town. Beautiful thing though, since I have my iPad all set up, was we can actually texture this to look a little more realistic after. I'm thinking I can take a small brush. I'm going to put on a new layer. And I'm going to see if we can... We can't really get the halter to go around the way that I would want it to, but we can draw it on the skin or as like an undershirt. So we have the inner top layer here, and I'm thinking more like that. And then we can have like a bow. That part looked weird. Okay. Nope. Perfect. And then it can just be like a little tied off top. Yeah, I think I like the halter better than having like straight across and straps. Unsure. What if I test out the other straps? It's not showing me the t-shirt. Oh, it's because this is invisible, isn't it? Nope. Very curious. Save these. I keep saving as new item. I need to remember to overwrite. This brings you memories of gaming design course. The computer erased your final projects and all. Ah! I can't imagine getting to a final project and having it erased. Oh my god, I would cry. I would cry. So if I hide this, and hypothetically I drew in... Actually, let me view that real quick so I can steal the color. hide this. Make it symmetrical. And something like that. We don't know yet. We don't know what the neckline's supposed to be yet. Not that though. And then I'll take a tiny eraser to get it off the shoulders, because I don't need it on the shoulders on the back. And then like keep the little carrot looking top, carrot top. And then for straps, they would come more straight down. So we have option A or option B. Which one looks more carroty? I literally don't know. I mean, this one has the like nice flat top like a carrot would, and it matches the drawing more, but I do think that this one adds a little variety and makes her look like less naked when she's like potentially up close to the camera, like, hi, It was fine. Your buddy was skilled enough that he managed to build something from scratch. Wasn't much, but you had the story memorized by heart too. Oh. I think what we're gonna do for the bottoms is I'm gonna figure out what pants we're gonna do before we do the top, like finish the top in terms of mapping. I do think it's important. So she definitely has not a drop crotch pants. Like those, but maybe more like these. And then ankle hem. We want the ankle hem to be pretty big, so we're gonna go -25 here as well. Or maybe even lower. Stop it. Negative. What happens if I do -100? They really don't want the pants to be baggy here, huh? Yeah. Like that. It's kind of a weird shape, but like I'm thinking once I bring out of the texture, we'll like do a little more workshopping. The primary one and the other for a variation, that's a good idea. I'm thinking regardless, she's got a 2000s vibe going on, and she definitely needs like low-rise-ish jeans. They might go a little higher in the back, but I don't know if I necessarily want them to be whale tailing. Ah. Hold on. Let me figure out the back first, because I can't do that. I don't want to give her a whale tail, and then I'll match the front up after. Although her booty is still sticking out a little bit. Yeah. And then the pants crease. Can I up that past 100, like 150? To make them more, yes, vibes. And we're gonna raise the hem a little bit, so even though they're big and bulky, they won't cover the shoes when we get to the shoes. The number of times you had to come up with an entire project to present as you were presenting, it's no joke. Oh my gosh. Honestly, it's mildly impressive though, like when you can do stuff like that. It's really hard to be put on the spot, so like that's kind of impressive. I was a big fan of like morning of coming up with presentations and stuff, but usually only if they were like oral reports. Anything beyond that? I don't have the creativity or the speed. If I lock this, I was thinking of making her pants like dirt brown because like she's a carrot. So it would make sense that the carrot's like coming out of the dirt. Maybe we'll give her like a green belt even. But is that too brown? That's probably too brown. Maybe like that. Hypothetically, what if I did orange? Is the orange monochrome outfit too much? Is it too much? Most of the time it was the stuff that you came up with on the spot that got you higher grades. Ooh. I believe it. I believe it. Sometimes, like, you work better under pressure, you know? Does she just look like she's a prisoner? Like a really hip prisoner if I do orange? Maybe use this orange and have the details in that brown. Ooh, okay. Okay. Ah! I forgot that I didn't have this locked. There we go. Now it's locked. I just feel like she kind of is giving orange as the new black. Like, you know? The prison show. Yeah, maybe we'll go brown for now. We can always change the color in Procreate, because this is mostly for just mapping out where things are going to go anyway, so. It's going to fill in this whole page. There we go. It's a matter of working with the details after. It may look a bit orange as the new black, but the details will make the difference. That's true, that's true. I'm gonna go in on a new layer, and I'm gonna take a much tinier brush, and with like, actually maybe a white, I'm gonna map out where the side hems would be roughly, and like where the pockets would go, because it is all about the details. Actually, there wouldn't be side hems on these, would there? There would only be really like the hems here, which I don't think I pulled off very well. I did not pull off very well. What if I do just straight down? So there'd be hems there. Would there be hems here, like under the pockets? Because she's gonna have to have pockets. Oops. Zoom in a little bit. It is so hard drawing with a mouse. Oop. I admire people who can do this. I cannot do this. And then maybe the pocket's actually a little bit more like that. And then we take an eraser. Get rid of this. So pockets there. How many pockets do cargo pants have? We thought the same of orange is the new black, yeah! I don't know how I'm feeling about the placement. The side result of your project escapades is that you and your friends became a little bit too good at lying when together. I mean, hey, the friends who talk shit together stick together, right? And then maybe there would be a seam right here. Oh, thank you for your services of checking the cargo pants. I was just about to Google. At least 5, okay. So there's gonna be those ones. There's gonna be tiny back pockets because these are low-rise Y2K jeans, so they wouldn't have very big pockets. And then also a pocket that goes from the side seam to like here. Yeah. And then we also have to make room for the belt because there's got to be a belt. So like we have to plot out at least where the belt loops are gonna go. Probably something like that. Oops, I went a little bit downward on that one. Hell yeah. I'm gonna look up a picture of cargo pants to see if I'm doing this right still, because I feel like I'm not doing this right. 2 on the sides, 1 on each knee, and 1 in the back. Oh. Okay, so the pockets wouldn't be off as far to the sides as I put them. Very interesting. I don't know why I thought they went here. I think I'm just thinking of like Kim Possible. And then we take a tiny brush. Fix that seam. And so these pockets also, I have to make a note to myself, would be more of like pockety pockets and less like tiny little Y2K pockets, I feel like. They might look like that, but the ones I'm seeing here have little flaps on the pockets. Well, some of them don't. Some of them, you know what? That's fine. I'm gonna leave those pockets because she's gonna have a pocket here. Yeah. You could fit an entire notebook in your cargo pants pockets? That's impressive. That's impressive. So we'll put one there. And then how low? The other one's got probably like a lot lower. But I want them to be in line relatively. Do they look wonky? I mean, I know they don't look like expertly drawn pockets, but like placement wise, do they look wonky? I think it's not that bad, actually. It's not that bad. It just needs a little shaping. To the salon! Oh my god, that old TikTok. Pocket supremacy, yes! Who says girls can't have pockets? Also, these pockets might end up just being little, like, butt flap pockets. I don't know if I'm gonna do the whole pocket in the back. Looks about right. Yeah. Hell yeah. Wouldn't these pants get awfully front heavy? Should I give, like, extra pockets in the back? I know that's not where they go, but... what if I did? I'm looking at different variations of cargo pants, and it looks like some of them do have it on the side, like over the stitch seam, and then some of them have it more in the front. So I feel like either way I place them wouldn't necessarily be wrong. Huh. Okay. Confusing, but I'll go with it. I also think that at least on one side, we should probably do like, I think it's called like a hammer loop. But I think I'm thinking of carpenter's pants and not cargo pants that have the little loop for a hammer. Also, I don't think she'll need a hammer if she's a carrot, but you know, you never know. Also, on the inner top layer, I think is where I'm going to plot out my little belly button ring. Because I just think it would be cute to have like a boop. Boop. Towards the top. Oh, hold on, where does the belly button ring go? Yeah, on the top part of the belly button. And then we match the carrot to like... boop. Is that too much? Is that like one too many details? We might have to actually draw it on the skin so I can see it on the belly button. But yeah, I don't think that's so bad. Like, I mean, obviously it's not great, but like, we can work with this. So we're gonna overwrite those two items because now I'm pretty sure if I go to tops, I have like a billion tops. But yeah, I don't need, and delete the plain white top. Put her in that. Hairstyle is gonna be orange, but we'll figure that out in a little bit. I think we might want to work on the face a little bit. I did the eyes already. Eyebrows, I have a couple custom eyebrows, but I don't know that any would work for her. First of all, I need them to be orange. If I lock them and then I make them orange, they might work. I think they need to be a darker orange for this. Yeah. Maybe. I don't know if I like those eyebrows or not. Close without saving. Used to carry a multi-tool, blade, keys, wallet, etc., and the pants got so heavy. I bet! I feel like it'd be impossible to wear these pants without a belt. You know what I mean? But I think like the beauty of a character like this is they could be like the Mary Poppins bag or like a witch bag or anything where you can just keep pulling stuff out like a magician trick. Let's look at the preset eyebrows just for funsies. Or maybe we should do eyelashes first. Eyelashes. I have a couple lashes here. They're not very good. But I'm thinking we could probably use a pre-made eyelash on this. Possibly. Potentially. I feel like she would have very full, luscious lashes. Ooh, okay, okay. Eyelids. We don't really need to worry about. Eyeliner. Okay. Here's where we can have a little fun. Do I want basic? Do we want... Oh, that makes her eyelids look way deeper. I don't know if I love that. I suck at drawing eyelashes. I learned the hard way that I do not know how to draw eyelashes. That's why I only have like a couple pairs in this thing. I don't want to give her too many. Like, I feel like too many is just too many, you know? I feel like that's kind of cute. We can edit the texture a bit. Because I do think I want to get rid of the eyelids. She's already got eyelids. We don't need... we don't need more eyelid. Also, would it be crazy to, like, just... I mean, yeah, it's a little dark. I don't hate it, but it's a little dark. What if I duplicate this? And then I turn this layer to, like, a multiply? Ooh, okay, I like that color a little better. It's still darker, but there's still a little bit of that, like, sheen going through. We'll save that as a new item. Completely right about the belt part. Yeah, if they get heavy, you absolutely would need one. Let's take a look at these eyebrows. I feel like her eyes need to be bigger. If I just make them like the absolute biggest they could, that might be too big. That might be too big. Is that too big? That might just be a little bit big. Okay. And then if we go to irises, ooh, I forgot you could do that. Okay, we're not gonna do that. That's gonna be 0. I'll make that 0. But maybe... I mean, I guess that's not so bad. They're a little big, aren't they? I don't know what to do here, size-wise. I kind of like it. I feel like they're tilted. Straighten upper island, maybe? I don't want to give her a scornful look. Eyebrow position, rotate eyebrow length. Ah! We could give her unibrow. Nope. This one? Nope. Uh-huh. How do I distance the eyebrows? That way. I feel like she just looks angry now. Did I make her angry? She was looking into your soul to judge you like the Ghost Rider. Ah! Are all VTubers built with a tic-tac-toe board for a forehead? Yes, because you have to leave room for the bangs. So they kind of have to have a 5 head. I have no idea what we're doing for the nose either. I probably should have planned out some of these a little bit, but I might custom make the nose. The darker color. We need it to be a little extra dark if we want to be able to see the nose. Because as you can see, I barely, well, I guess I have a nose. I guess I do have a nose. I was gonna say, I barely have a nose, but I used to not have a nose. What if we take this light color and we tan it up a bit so that it's a little bit less in your face? I don't know if I love the nose. I think we'll do that for now. Yeah, for now. The mouth. I don't know what the difference is. I mean, I know I have something there. I don't know what that is. Mouth inside's probably fine. Lips. I do like the orange that I gave her, but I think I'm gonna make it a little punchier. I think it could be cute. I don't know. We're gonna have to fix that nose because it's bothering me. Also, I forgot to color the eyebrows to be closer to what I want them to be. Yeah, for now, that's fine. Save as new item. Or now. So she's starting to be a person. Hairstyle. Yeah, we could get into it. We can get... I have so many hairs just here. We'll create a new edit hairstyle. This is for the front piece. So we have to adjust the like cage to come out and not overlap the skin. I don't want to give her a cone head though. So we gotta be careful with the rounding. Yeah, that's probably fine. And then for the hair width and position, okay, that's not what I need. I need a brush, and then I need to look at the hair parameters. And I think for the width, we want to do that. Probably start off, nope, with some like relatively flat / thick hair. Yeah. I'll have to change the color later as well. What do I give her for hair? Let's take a look back at my reference photo, because that is not it. This was the vibes. I don't know that we're going to actually match these vibes, because we might play around and figure out like that we like something else a little better, but that's the goal. That's the goal. Reminded you of an embarrassing story. The teacher who had no sense of smell told you that time the class, and one of your friends asked, then how can you breathe? And your teacher facepalmed herself immediately. Oh no! Smell and breathing are 2 different things for sure. Air for the bald carrot, yes. Justice for the carrot. Apparently, though, I did make the hair on this more pointy than I thought. So we will go with a little bit more pointy. Oh. A little more flat at the top, too. I think she should have side bangs. If we're going like Y2K style, I do think she'd have some like PC side bangs. We'll edit the texture itself later. What I cannot allow to happen is this gap right here. Okay. Much better. Swoop. 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 Now she looks bald on this side. I gave her too much hair on that side. Also, I need to move my mouse a little closer. There we go. The thickness probably doesn't have to be so high. Why does she look so bald? Like, she looks extra bald over here. If only drawing hair was that easy. Right? Right? I wish I could control the points of my hair in a drawing to make them what I needed. Okay, that looks a little better. I mean, it's completely going over her eyebrows, but that's fine. That was kind of the vibe. Maybe I have to make the hair a little less thick on this side, width-wise. Who did she look like? She looks like, was it Megamind? The girl from Megamind, or was it Incredibles 2? Where the girl had like the big head and the hair just like, boop. I think we can increase the width again though for these other 2 pieces. Hmm. Hmm. Why is drawing bang so hard? You think you know who I'm talking about? Yeah! Let me see if I can find an example. Megamind's girlfriend. Yeah, this bitch. This bitch. She's just serving this bitch, Roxanne Ritchie. And you know what? I think that it's partially the color. It's partially the color. It's gotta be, right? Like it's gotta be the color. Maybe if we change the main color to like orange. That's very red. We'll get rid of the highlight. I don't know if I hate this or if it's just because I haven't put in the rest of the hair. So we're gonna save that as a new item and then we'll continue fixing the bangs and everything as we do the hair. Because it's kind of all connected, you know? I could give her the Marge Simpson. Oh, me. Anywho. I do want the guide to be a little shorter. Because we don't need that much length. We can probably lift it up a little bit. And then adjust the points from there. That's probably even too long for what I was originally thinking. Oops. Oop. And I need to make the hair flip out a bit. I'm probably gonna have to use a couple different guides to get like a layered effect. Probably too much. There we go. Well, let's try drawing some on and hope for the best. It'll be easier to see with the actual hair too. So let's adjust the guide. I don't know what I just did there to make it look like a bell, but yeah, I don't love that. Maybe actually, what if I took this and then I made the hair have a little bit of, that's too much twist. Away from her face. I still need to adjust this to not be out as much. However, it still looks bad. I'm like, what can I do to fix this? Looks very flat on top. Okay, so we're gonna delete that. And we're gonna add freehand guides. And I guess we'll start with this. Sure. She had more like shoulder width hair in my little doodle, but it actually was even shorter than shoulder width. It was like neck or shoulder length. It was like neck length. I think I'm just pulling it out too far from the head because the bangs are awfully close to the head. Maybe something more like that, and then we still have to pull it out in the back. That might not be so bad. Possibly. Let's test. I will be replacing the texture on the hair itself later on. I don't know if that'll be this stream or like something I do off stream. Okay, so if I duplicate this and then I take this guide, right, and I like bring them in a little bit and then I bring them down a little bit. Like it's I can't tell if I love or hate this, and I think it's the bangs' fault partially. I think it's partially the bangs' fault. Maybe we can twist some of them. Mm. Mm. We're gonna save it for now. It definitely looks like she's wearing a helmet for hair. Let's edit the texture of the base hair. Actually, I don't think we have to edit the texture because if I click one of these, I think I can just change the color to match the hair. Okay. We might be starting over. We're gonna delete that. Actually, you know what? Maybe we it's so bad. It's so bad, isn't it? Also, why did the back of the hair not change to be that color? There we go. I think I did something wrong with the bangs. Save, that's fine. What if I just like adjust the map a little bit? I think it's because all of the hair is the same width. I think that I could break it up a little bit with like thinner hairs. What if I just hide that for now? That whole group is gonna get hidden and we're gonna try again. And like worst case, I delete the first group. It's all about trial and error. And this one I want to bring in closer to the face. And you know, I'm gonna get some inspiration by literally just going on Pinterest and looking at like Y2K hair. I think it'll help me see the vision. Ooh, okay. Oh wait, I have hair for her in the board, don't I? Because we made this whole board. Of course, my vision for the hair has changed a little bit, but... Okay, there's this one hairstyle that I'm seeing that I'm like, I want to see if I can make it. I don't think I'm going to be able to, but like, I want to try. So for the hair parameters, I'm going to bring this a little closer this way. And then, so for this one, there's 2 pieces that come down not like that at all. And then they should match up relatively in the center. Right? And then there's 2. The more we do it, the better we get at it. This is true. This is true. There's a couple pieces like that. That kind of wrap around. The thing is, they go into the head. Hmm. Grab that, grab that. What we need to do is have it go over and like behind the ear if it's going to be that long. Sometimes we need a little help from good old knowledge, but it is making it and thinking that leads to improvement, all while aiming at greatness. You are absolutely right. And then for the back, I want to say this is definitely a tester hairstyle. I don't know if I love it, but like I want to see what it looks like on her because it could potentially be cute. It is very short. I think I need the hair to be less pointed at the ends for this in order to achieve maximum coverage. Oh, that's way too long. Way too long. Let's try from the back first. Needs to be a bit longer. Just a little bit longer. Possibly even longer. Oh, I was moving the wrong. There we go. Yeah. This is an experiment. And I think I've already done it wrong as well. I think it's actually supposed to start from here. Ah. Oh no! Why did my... There we go. I was like, why did my texture change? So if it's like right there, that's too thick of coverage. It needs to be a little bit less wide. And then we can take an even lesser wide one and fill in. Okay, so the back of the hair would definitely kind of look something like that, right? Starts behind the ears. And then we would have a second group that would come around the top. Oh, whoa, that's way too thick. Like this. And then we'd have some coming this way. I don't know what I'm doing with this part up here. Okay, I see what I did wrong already. Ah, so frustrating. But it's okay. It'll be okay. I basically want them all to connect here, right? Maybe even a little further up, like there. Yes. So we'll take hair from here and bring it up, and hair from the part and bring it back. Maybe I'll use a little bit thicker ones in the back to make this take less long. The hair is cooking. Yeah, we're cooking. We're figuring it out. It looks a little goofy where I'm having them all meet, but I think it'll be okay. I'm also adding like so many hair strands that this might not be the best to render, but you know what? It'll probably be fine. Okay, and then also if I take these points that are not fully meeting up at the ends, I can cross them so that We get a little more coverage on the part line. I'll figure out the back later. But at the moment, this isn't too bad. This isn't too bad. It's kind of looking like what it's supposed to, which is a little bit weird, but not in a bad way. Cross those, cross those. Maybe not that much. Yeah. Okay, okay. Oh, not like that. Let's fix the guide so that this part goes in just a little more. So everything connects. I don't want her to be bald, you know? I definitely need to fill in that area. Ah! That was huge. Yas, yas. Okay, that's not so bad. That's not so bad. And like you can still see the not really the scalp, but the hair underneath, but like I think it's okay. Why does it keep going so wide? This piece looks wonky. There's another piece in there that is like crossing over. There we go. This isn't connecting. That's not connecting. You gotta go to the front and adjust the freehand group to come out a little more so that these hairs don't overlap these hairs, because these hairs are supposed to be like nice and smooth. And hopefully hides those hairs. But maybe therein lies a piece of the problem. I don't know. I like how you said that perhaps you'd leave the lore for whoever may want to use the models, but have you thought of something up lore-wise? I've been trying really hard not to, because I'm like, I want people to be able to have fun with it if somebody wants this model after. But I'm definitely thinking she'd be kind of fun, kind of like, not ditzy, but not overly annoyingly smart. You know what I mean? Oh, that's the other side of the hair. Okay. I think that she would be like bubbly, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Ooh, okay. That did not work like I wanted it to, but maybe if I take this and I go in. What if I like fully bring that in so it just like clips into her head? That looks better. Okay. Perfect. I think she'd also be like your classic girl from 2007 to 2009, but maybe like a little less edgy, like a little bit more sweet than your average girl from 2009. Still a little edgy, but not insane or obtusely. Thinking of the lore of the character and the personality are your favorite parts, but you understand how hard it could be avoiding doing it. Yeah, it's super fun, but it's so... I think I want to fill in a couple more. What is this group? Oh, that's the back of the hair. Okay. Yeah, we're working on the back of the hair. What am I thinking? This is for the top. We need to draw in a couple more fairly thin ones. I want them to start off thicker in the front. I keep adding points to this. Like, if you click not on the exact point, it adds in a point for how you want the texture to come out. And it's low-key making me mad. Because I don't need this many points to make it smooth. Okay, this is looking not half bad. She still needs a couple pigtails on top, though. Yeah, like that's not half bad. That's not perfect, but it's not half bad. I think we can adjust this to come down a little further before swooping. Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, I might even be able to take the guide and like pull it back out a little bit. And then I could adjust the hair to come around the back instead of just like tapering off. Okay, okay. I'm cooking. I'm cooking here. I think I figured it out. If we take this and we bring them to meet back here, and then we curve them like so. Also, there are so many points in this hair. Okay. So it kind of looks normal in the front, and then it has a little texture in the back, which we can add like a little ponytail there or something. Okay. Okay. It's looking much better than the first version. Thank you. That's all I could aim for. Was better than that first look, because that was not doing any favors to anyone. Still have to keep adjusting her root line because her roots are showing. There we go. Yeah, that's kind of cute. Okay, okay, okay. I'm living for this. And then I think if I adjust this guideline a little bit, just a little bit, like that. And then maybe even in a little like that, but then I bring it out like so. Yeah, cute, cute. We're going to overwrite the last two pieces so they save. And now we need extensions. And honestly, something like this, but a little longer and a little messier, I think would be super cute. I definitely want to... That's way too long. Oh, the little spiky buns are cute. But I kind of want to use the freehand guides from this. So I might just like look at what the freehand guides are looking like. So they just moved a whole guide to either side. Okay, close without saving. I don't want to save that as a new item, but I want to create new. Continue without saving. Perfect. Edit hairstyle. Let's see where they put the guide on this one. I could make either individual... I like lost my train of thought. Individual frames or whatever for each side, or I can try to make two at once, which I might do for like the base and then add individual strands to each one in their own separate group. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, no, I'm gonna delete that group. I'm gonna add hair guides. And then I'm gonna move it this way. And then I'm gonna move it up. And I'm gonna scale it down. Yeah, like that. Like that. And we'll make the hair relatively thin. We do have to figure out the placement exactly because I want it to be over where I put everything. So maybe a little further back. Yeah. And I am going to adjust the cage so that it looks even on both sides. Perfect. Brush. I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous. I think it'll be fine. But I want to ruin it. Oh, turn off the symmetry. Like that. This was like the hardest part of doing my hair was the little like thingy in the back. This little extension in the back. It was very difficult for some reason. No idea why. But I have a feeling it's going to be equally annoyingly hard for this one. Duplicate that position a little more forward. Cool. I'm almost wondering, let me delete these three hairs and then what if, hypothetically, I just flipped this? And then I could put it directly on the point where it meets. And then I could adjust this way. I think I'm onto something. Looks a little wonky, but like kind of makes sense as to why. And then I bring this down and out. Yeah. Ah, this could work. Maybe. Let's see what happens at the very least. I mean, it's a little crazy, but it is honestly more what I had in mind, I think. But I don't know. This part's hard. Maybe I just try like that. Maybe I just try like that and hope for the best. Too long. Too wide. Okay. I think for the first layer of the extensions, this could be good. Yeah, and then we can add like a couple more coming out the bottom, but I am going to duplicate and then flip that so that we got two. And then which one's this? I'm gonna rename freehand group one, her left, my right, so I'm gonna put right. And then I'm gonna rename this one freehand group one left. So I can just differentiate. And then I'm gonna duplicate right again, and I'm going to move that and then rotate it a little bit. Okay. And if I do that and then I duplicate and then I flip. Yeah, that's kind of cute. I can do a couple minor adjustments to like really do whatever I want with the hair, but I think that's kind of cute. I have to also rename this one left. Thank you, thank you. Do we see the vision? I think she'd be bubbly and cute. I feel like I need to fix her eye shape to like encapsulate that because I do think that it's missing a little something. And I'm wondering if she should have a couple more like side pieces of hair. Maybe something like that. I might just use the preset to give her a couple more pieces of hair in the front. Do we need to add any extras? No. I feel like there was a side piece that like had a little bit more to the sides. Maybe I'm thinking of that one, but I don't like it as much as the one that we did. That one's kind of cute. And between that one and this one, I think I'm gonna go with that one. I am wondering if the ones in the front should like come out and down a little more. We're gonna do mirrored. And then instead of going backwards, I think they should fall kind of forwards. Yeah, not bad. I think I need to fill in something right there. Other than that, not quite like that. Definitely a lot thinner. Maybe even thinner. And I'll add that to the piece that goes kind of behind. And then maybe I'll add one to cover that. Hole that I made in the hair. Quite. And if I take hair 18 and I adjust the width and this thing. Hmm. I think I'm gonna have to delete that hair. And that one. So I can put it on a different freehand group. Yeah. Cute. And then for the back, where we have those hairs in the back, I think I'm going to duplicate them. Oh my god, there's so much hair. we're gonna close group 2, reopen group 1, and then I'm gonna adjust this to make it look a little more layered. Yeah. We don't have too much overlap. We have a couple more face framing pieces. I think that could work. I do think we might need like one more little joop, you know? Add a free hair and guide. Scale. We're gonna make this one super tiny. And we're gonna move it this way and up. Like that. And then I want a tiny hair to just draw like one extra straight hair into. Maybe even a little thinner than that. Ooh. Struggling. Hell yeah. This is already looking kind of better. Already looking kind of better. I might have spoke too soon. Okay, yeah, I like that. We're gonna duplicate it and flip it. Cute. Cute, cute. I'm very happy with that. Overwrite. Position them a little further down. I think I can move the eyebrows down too. Yeah. Lower eyelid up. I think that makes it a little cuter. We're gonna stick with 0 gaze on the eyes. Eyebrows tilt a little bit. Lowered a little bit. Get them more arched, but a little less length. Okay. Her eyebrows feel really wide to me for some reason. Not that one. Okay. Okay. Are her eyes too low on her face? Are they too low on her face? Is that just me? It could just be me. I don't know. I also kind of want to go in and give her little carrot earrings, which I think we can do. We go in through hair, and then we already did side pieces. We didn't do extra. So if I put, yeah, save the temporary item, sure. Edit hairstyle. What if I make little carrot earrings? Make them really tiny. Rig them to her ear. You think it looks all right? You have trouble deciding if the eyes are in the right position too. That's like so hard, isn't it? It's so hard. Now for the earrings, I want the top to be a lot thicker. Right now, they're just gonna look like she has hair on her ear, but like when I texture them, rescale, make them thinner. Move them down just a little more. Doesn't want to let me draw them on. Come on. We can fix this to make a carrot. Gotta make sure it's relatively straight. It is leaning wicked forward. But if we take the freehand group and adjust them individually instead of all at once, we should be able to fix this. And we can actually scoot that up and in a little bit. I want to say we can make this look like a carrot. I want to say we can do it, but I'm a little worried. How? Like that? Yes. So we'll duplicate, duplicate, then flip. And then maybe create this one, but we're going to rotate it up. And out. And over. I don't really know what I'm doing with this piece, but I'm gonna figure it out. I want to make a leaf for the carrot. Maybe we'll come back to that. We'll come back to earrings when it's more necessary. We'll save it as a new item so that we can come back to it, but we will turn them off for now. The nose is definitely wrong. I think she needs more of a like little button, like that maybe. That's kind of cute. Okay. Also, why is her nose so pointy? Very pointy. The lipstick might also be a little bit much. Edit texture, but we're gonna lock it and then we're gonna make it more orangey. Oh. Okay. I feel like those look a little more normal. And then if I make the brush really small and I zoom in like that. I might be able to extend the top lip just a little bit. Of course, I can't even see it on the model. Oof. No. I'm also realizing I think her mouth shape might be a little weird. Like, what is that? What is that? Mouth. Yeah, we'll save the lips as new, sure. What is going on with her mouth? Okay. Now we can fix the lipstick. Take the same color. Hmm. Just trying to get the lips right. And I just realized I didn't do both sides. Oh my goodness. I forgot to symmetry tool this. Why am I so bad? She definitely had like weird cat mouth going on with this lipstick. Did not work with this lipstick. No. Lack of symmetry tool is always devastating. Okay, and then I'm gonna duplicate, lock it, add a little bit of highlight, not erase, highlight to the middle, and then I think I can smudge it to make it look less wonky. Take the opacity down. Narrow the brush. Not that narrow. Like 5, I guess. And just keep blurring, just keep that's too big of a blur. Just keep blurring, just keep blurring. Very subtle, but it makes it cute. And then for the brush, we can take a tiny little boop right there. Blur again. And I'm hoping that this looks relatively normal when I zoom out. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say that's relatively normal. Cute! Now for cheeks, I don't think I added anything to the cheeks. I do have some pre-blushies. I think this one is the one that I have on. I think this was when I did the Abby birthday model with all the freckles. I think that one was when I did Serena's. When I made models for fun. I definitely want to give her something for blush, but definitely not this color because I think it's just a little too close. Or not too close, too pink. I'm wondering if I can edit this to be like less opaque. Yeah. That would be the same one I have. I don't know if I love that for her. Let's try a different preset to see what we can get going on here. I think that's cute. I think that's cute. It's very subtle. Save as new item for now. Also, for the body outline, I think we need to change the outline to be just a little less thick. But under look, yeah. Or the face outline, I mean. Hairstyle. We need to edit the texture. And I'm gonna make it a flat texture for now. I will come back in with more details when I bring this into Procreate at some point. I could probably even do a couple details to like mark out where I would want them to be. We will blur. Or not. We'll wing it when we get into Procreate. And I'm gonna rename this texture flat orange. Cool, cool. That's also flat orange. So we can go to the back, change all of this to our flat orange. I think these ones are already all flat, yep. And then it's just the side pieces. Not everything's the same texture. We will have to fix the base hair so that it's not like peeking through really dark orange there. I'll edit the texture by locking it and then doing the same thing that we have for all the other things where we filled in. We can just fill it in like this. Even maybe make it a little darker, but not nearly as dark as it was. Perfect. Overwrite. Yeah. The hair definitely needs texturing. The clothes definitely need texturing. But it's not that bad. For the shoes, I'm thinking we'll go custom. And I'm thinking maybe some kind of sneaker. Boots could be cool here. Like stiletto boots? I didn't even know we had those. Oh, heck yeah. She's gonna have stiletto boots. And I'm thinking texturally orange definitely makes sense. And then for the bottoms, maybe we'll bring back in the brown. Turn that part off. That might be too much orange and brown, but can we have too much orange and brown for a carrot? Like, is that even possible? Maybe I'll end up doing them white. I don't know. But I definitely have to save all of the texture maps themselves, or whatever they're called, the guides, the texture guides, so that I can draw over them. I think we planned this one out pretty good, though. She still needs earrings. She needs a belly button ring. I'm thinking I might even give her nails. I didn't adjust her height or anything. I probably should do that. Let's see, her height. How tall in centimeters do I want to make her? Always good to save all the data sooner rather than later. This is true. I'm gonna save because I totally haven't saved in a minute. Totally haven't saved in a minute. 2 centimeters. I don't know. Maybe we'll make her like... I feel like she would be short because she's gonna be named after a Chantenay carrot in my brain, or like she's based off of a Chantenay carrot, which is a short and stout carrot. So I don't know. Maybe we'll make her like 4'11". So like somewhere around 149 centimeters. Little short. Shoulder width. I think her chest size is fine. Arm length is fine. Hand size and foot size are fine. I guess she's gonna be 148. Perfect. Yeah. I am curious about her expressions to see like what's going on here. So neutral. Her lips might look a little wonky. I might texture those again too, and maybe switch up her eyebrows a little bit, but overall, neutral's fine. Smiling. Mouth. We're gonna make her smile just a little less. I can also adjust these when I go to like rig it essentially. That's fine. And then for sad, we definitely have to adjust this because the eyebrows are all messed up. And the mouth, like what is the mouth doing? Eyes, mouth. Yeah. Angry. Again, what are those eyebrows doing? They're getting cut off by like her eyelids. So I think we might have to adjust her eyelids. It's not her eyelids that are cutting them off. I don't know what that is that's cutting them off. I don't know why I can't just tilt them in, but that's fine. Look at the eyes themselves. And I guess that's fine. Ah! Okay. We'll make her a little, just a little less happy. Also, like, I think this might affect how tracking works if I don't just set them relatively neutral. And the mouth should be smiling just a little bit. She's ready to eat an apple, absolutely. She's a scared carrot. She's afraid of getting baked. The eyes, I'm going to make just a little less surprised. Just a little less surprised. I am going to see about lowering the lids just a little bit. Yeah. And closed, closed. A, E, I. Ooh. I gotta fix that just a little bit because her teeth are popping through her chin. E. Ah. Okay. I think that works. Neutral, smiling, sad, angry, happy, surprised, closed. A, I, U, E, O. Okay. Well, that's not bad. That's not bad. Check it. I am wondering though if I can change her mouth inside well. Yeah, I think I like that one. And then I don't think I can fix like her teeth. Can I? Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it's fine. She doesn't need glasses or furry ears or a rabbit tail. We worked on her face a bit, and then we did the hairstyle. Did we do any skin details? Or like face paint? I don't think she needs any, but I'm gonna look through here real quick. Because I'm like, maybe like a little mole could be cute. For the longest time, you had this weird scenario in your head that you really wanted to play it out. A friend losing his mind in a panic and splash champagne in their face. Calm back down. I've always wanted to throw a drink in somebody's face. I've always wanted to do it, but I've never had anybody I could just throw drinks in their faces. I think it'd be so fun. The real question is how thinking about an apple reminded you of that. It might have been the shocked and crazy faces she was making. I do think that this is pretty, like, a lot further than I thought I was gonna get in 2 hours. Without even actually transferring anything to my iPad. Which, speaking of, I might hide this for a second so I can transfer some files, which, you know, it might only take me a couple minutes, but it's such a shame. Yeah, it's such a shame. And like, also, I am like, if I throw a drink in somebody's face, they're gonna get so mad. You can't just do that. Edit textures. We are going to export guide. Boot guide. New folder first. We're gonna name it Shantanay. Because I already have some textures for her, like the eyes and the highlights, so make her own folder. Export guide. Cargo pants. Guide. And I am going to export the textures too. Cargo layer 1. Cargo layer 2. The inner top is probably fine to not export, but I'll export it anyways. Inner top strings. Thank you! If they're going crazy already, maybe the spill of alcohol will calm them down a bit, but it has to be apple-flavored champagne. Absolutely. Can you imagine? Then you just smell like cider for the rest of the day. Mini top guide. Mini top version 1. Oh, not the guide. Export this one. Mini top version 2. And I think that's everything. We got the top, the bottom, the shoes, the inner top. Oh, I should go to the face and export the lipstick. Guide. Face guide. Export layer. Lipstick. Cheeks are fine. Eyebrows. We might have to change the eyebrows later, but that'll be a future Billie problem. Future Billie to the rescue. Okay, and then I don't think I need the texture for the hair. I think I have a texture map for the hair. But just for shits and giggles, I'm going to export that. So that I have everything all together. I like when it asks me if I want to save, even though I haven't adjusted anything whatsoever. I do really like her eyes, though. I'll pull this back up now that I'm done exporting. I really like her eyes. I think, ah! I just think they're so cute! They're so sparkly! Future Billie goes, God damn it, Billie, why are you like that all the time? All the time. Rah! Look, and then, you know what I might do? I wonder if I should just export this as it is and then throw her into my VRM posing desktop so we could get some like pose shots of like her current state, the before and after texturing. And a secret carrot in the eyes. Yeah, I like putting little hidden things in eyes. Like, I have a goose foot and a feather. But I also just noticed that my highlight goes outside of my pupil. Why is that? I like hiding little trinkets in the eyes. Because, you know, they're the windows to the soul. The details! It's all in the details. I think she could be so cute. She just needs a little shaping. Let's see. I did save. But I'm going to save one more time. I'm nervous. And then I'm going to close. And I wonder... I have iTunes open, so I can export all those files to the iPad. Lapad. I need another USB-C cable. Why am I out of USB-C cables? Brah! Ah! Billieception! There's two of me now. You can't get rid of me now. Fabulous. At least it didn't pull up any sensitive information. It just pulled up a double Billie somehow. That could have been bad. crawling under my desk to get a USB-C to USB-A cable. We're gonna plug this in and hope that it doesn't mess up my cable train. I guess one of these ports will have to do. Got a USB 3 port, but that's fine. Probably. We'll get up close and personal while I connect the iPad. Ah! Oh! The notification scared me. This is the questionable USB-C cord, so it might just, like, not work. No, don't update the iPad. Yeah, that's not gonna work. It's good for charging, and that's about it. And it has to be held in a very specific position. So I don't think I'm gonna be able to transfer those over today. I can transfer them so that we can work on them next time, and then we can actually still use the iPad. It's not that the iPad can't be plugged in. I already proved that I can plug that in. It's just... I didn't think about the transferring. I could unplug my microphone and transfer the files over, but... Classic. I can do it! I can do it! I'll just have to be muted for a minute. I'll prove it. Did you miss my voice? It was that quick. It was that quick. I just have to grab my HDMI capture once again. See if this works. Yes, it does. But I have to close it for 1 second while I import the guides. We can start with the top. Add file. Perfect. Perfect! I knew I could do it. The silent treatment always makes you miss the sound. Aw, oh, you missed the sound of my voice. You missed me. I'm going to turn the opacity down on this so I can trace the shape. And also add in a drawing guide with symmetry. My best friend's symmetry. Using a basic color brush and drawing assist. And we can just outline what we want for the general shape. These. Ha ha ha. I'm also realizing I'm still huge. Why didn't I shrink myself? Honey, I shrunk the goose. I don't know what that noise was, but you know. It be like that sometimes. I'm using a relatively thin line because I don't want the lines to be like too pronounced. And I did say I wanted to point this just a little bit more, so I'm going to take the opportunity to do that now. Perfect. It's perfect. Sort of. And let's see. This line is right on top of that line. So if I start it like right there, they should line up. I might have to do a little adjusting. The middle of this. This is the middle. I just have to make sure they're relatively the same thickness. It's easier said than done, to be honest. I need to download like a little iPad asset for when I'm drawing so that when I'm looking down, not just like closed eyes at you guys, I'd be closed eyes at an iPad. It just reminded me of a character that was in a game that has the following line: "You like me, you like me, you really like me." Okay, that line reminds me of, there's an actress who did a speech like when she won an award, and she was like, "They like me, they really like me." And then it also reminds me of Rudolph when he's like, "She thinks I'm cute." Different words, same sentiment, you know? The excitement of like, oh my god. Ah. I forgot. I can't just fill that in because I haven't connected the lines in the corners. Very important, very important. Okay. And now I can hide that one a little bit. And I can turn down the guide for that. And I generally like to make the color of the background relatively similar to the skin tone we went with, so I can judge my colors a little bit better. But I'm going to take that darker orange, and especially on the collar where there would be like a string pulling this in, I want to make it have a little bit of texture. Like it's bunched up or something. Something like that. I guess it would be more bunched at the top than at the bottom, so these should be a little bit smaller but more frequent. So I started watching Gossip Girl last night because you know how I was like, oh, I want to watch like a bunch of old sitcoms and slash TV shows and whatever. I guess I should have realized Gossip Girl was like high school, but somehow I didn't. Because I've never watched it. I watched like one episode a long time ago, and I just for some reason thought they were in college because they have all the high school students like partying and drinking and smoking weed all the time. And I'm just like, oh. Wish I was warned that this was like a high school show. But I was curious because I've seen people talking about it a lot lately, and I realized that a lot of people are talking about it because they either love or don't like Blake Lively. I don't know what the whole drama there is, to be honest. But I was like, oh. So I'm giving it the anime treatment where, like, a lot of times you just have to ignore the fact that they're in high school because, like, it doesn't actually serve the plot very much. Besides the, you know, the few scenes where the high school comes in handy. Like, how often do you watch an anime and, like, they start the series and you're like, oh, like, these 4 high schoolers are doing this. And then all of a sudden, they're, like, working jobs and then they never bring up the high school again. That's what it feels like watching Gossip Girl right now. I don't know if that's too much blending or not enough blending. But I feel like it has a general vibe of what I'm going for. The usual, yeah. Okay, I think I'm gonna give that same treatment to the bottom of the top. So I kind of have to, again, fade this down to figure out where the boobs are so I can place my line art, or not line art, but my texturing, rendering, whatever, properly. I probably should have given myself guides for that. Maybe I'll just give, like, a couple lines there. And then I'll do one on the back. That's not so bad. I don't want it to look like she has a back fold. Like, that's not the intention of that line, though. So maybe I take that off. You sure I'm remembering lots of stories today? It happens. I should be putting these lines on, like, a different layer. You know? Maybe if I... Drawing assist. I want to guess that the boobs are, like, around here to put, like, a ripple in the fabric. But, like, I don't want to be wrong. And then have this just look weird. Probably fine. Can always fix it later. I'm not really adding too many lines where it's that big of a deal. Sometimes I transfer these back and forth between my iPad and the computer for like hours to figure out if I like something or not. Maybe we'll even do like one of these. Haha. Okay. Now, I'm probably going to have to do more shading and everything on this, but I am curious if I export this back, how it would look. So let me save this as a file. No, not an image. I need to save it 2 files. Come on. And not as a JPEG. PNG. Save to files. I'm going to save it to VLC because I don't have a ton of stuff in VLC. So hopefully I can easily find it. You can imagine that, especially after the story of you rearranging your room at 2 a.m. Yeah. Yeah. It's hard. Like, I have to export back and forth, back and forth, back and forth so that I know what it looks like. Because if I don't know what it looks like, how do I know if it's good? Am I? No, okay, I'm back. I'm not mute anymore. Let me reopen Vroid. Minimize that. See if my... Okay. Boop. Oh my goodness. It is not the right size on the screen for some reason. There we go. We are going to try to replace this top. I might have to hide it for a second while I import the texture. There we go. It doesn't look so bad. It doesn't look so bad, except for the fact that she's missing her shoulders. That looks pretty bad, but... There's still definitely some rendering that can be done, but like, overall placement, I guessed kind of not badly. You realize that you can learn languages in a curious way, and you can suddenly understand Japanese better? Ooh, cool, cool. I definitely have to do the strings on the skin layer to add more texture, but I really like how the rufflies came out. Like, I think that's pretty cool. It looks decently not bad, if I do say so myself. If I had to adjust the like layers though, I do think that I would bring the boobs down a little bit, and this is how I mark it up, and this is why it like transferring back and forth in VRite all the time. But like, I'd probably bring that down here and curve it up a little, and then I might bring this up a little more to the side. I mark it with like a completely different color so I can figure out what I added. Yeah, I think the front's good. The back's not terrible, but I think I should change the shape to something more like that instead of just having the 2 lines. But I like the effect that I have gotten. I don't know if I love this chest piece the way that it is. I think it might just be a little too long, so I might specifically shorten that and maybe add like a couple up there. for texture. Needs some adjustments. Yeah. Not too bad, though. Not too bad. Those are all easily fixable adjustments. So I might come back and do more on this another day. Probably next week. We'll work on this a little further. And I will try to have an extra USB-C cable to transfer these back and forth more fastly, and I don't have to mute myself every time. Yeah! General idea for sure. And then we'll also figure out this pants situation, because this mock-up... this mock-up's embarrassing, okay? It looks silly. But the idea is there. Low-rise cargo jeans, and we need a belt idea, so... I'm very excited about it, though. It reminds you of a Dance Dance Revolution character a little bit. Ooh! I can see that. I could see that. I just love her little, like, Y2K vibe. Like, these little puff ponytails. I might have to come back into and also erase a little bit of this base hair. I'm gonna save this as a new item. Yeah, because I don't want to accidentally overwrite the other ones, so. But her hairstyle's pocketing out a little bit. The little carrots in the eyes keep getting me. I feel like I need to make the carrot bigger. But I kind of like how subtle they are. So, like, if somebody adopted this character and then they wanted to zoom in to, like, yell at their chat, then that's when somebody would be like, oh, you have a carrot in your eye! You know? Little details. I also might make the string green to pull in the eyes to the tank top and also act as, like, almost the leaf of the eye, you know? Maybe do that thing where you get the model to say, oh! 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 You mean like, where is it? Where are my animations? Gah! Of course, when I want to find them, I can't find them. Oh, okay. I found it. You mean like this? Ha ha ha. Practical demonstration. Exactly. You wish you could move like me. Ew. Honestly, though, I do think that, like, this character would have a much easier time doing all the animations and stuff because she's wearing pants. If there's one thing I want to change about my design when I'm done making some characters is fixing the fact that I keep flashing everybody whenever I dance. I used to have it covered. I used to have a like feather skirt thing underneath, but it kept clipping through my dress and it was pissing me off. I was like, I can't deal with this no more. But I think I'm gonna save this here. And yeah. Also, I have like no models in my selection right now. You can remove them from the studio to make more room and to make this less laggy. Because fun fact, if you have a bunch of models loaded in here, all of their textures are loaded in here, and it makes it so slow, and it makes it crash a lot. But I am a little tempted to like pull up some other models that I've done, so you can see that this is not the end result. Well, we'll pull up my model. This one's not so bad. Wow! Look at the detail! Look at the I should fix these irises while I'm in here, but then I'd have to re-rig my model, so I don't know. But they're not so bad. After some texturing and some... Why is my... Is that clipping on me? No! Why is that clipping here? You saw nothing. We could just pretend. Never seen nothing. Let's see. Tops. I think I still have my Sereno Maiko top that I made. It looks like the texture's a little messed up, but... Oh, this one. Right? No? I think I'm missing a top. I think I just don't have the booba for it. I had a different... Let me find the file. Let me find the file. Pictures. Media. Vroid files. Aha! Okay. I don't know if that's... That might be just an... This? Close without saving. Aha. I got the whole little outfit. Let's see, we got the shoes. Cute. Yeah, can you tell I'm a fan? A big fan? And then we had... I believe I also have Abby's. Is it this one? It's not that one. That's Serena. This one? Yes. Throwback. Oh, and I almost forgot. I think there's a very important part of this. That's like... SpongeBob. Oh, I forgot that I made these, but I'm happy about them. Do I still? Yeah, I have the SpongeBob. I made these for Abby's birthday, like her first birthday. Rest in peace. But it took forever, and they came out really good, so I was really proud of them. Let's see, let me put me back in my own outfit. Wear my own clothes. Billie cosplay! I wanted to wear those for Halloween, but I was like, I feel like that is copyright worthy or like not necessarily appropriate to do, so I was like, I'm not gonna do that. But I thought about it. Are these my socks? No. Are these my socks? I think I lost my socks. Oh no, those are my socks. There we go, back in my own clothes. I can imagine it took you quite some time. It took me for like a while, but it actually, because I was able to hyperfixate, because they're two of my favorite streamers, that I was able to just like get the zoomies and do it in like a week or two. I think it took a week for each model. I don't know how many hours I worked each day on it because I was just zoned in, locked in. But I love making models. All my Halloween costumes are somewhere too. Let me find. I think, well, you've already seen my Halloween model, so. Not necessary, but yeah. Billie Valentine's fun. She's got that cute little dress. The only thing I regret about this dress is not connecting the shoulders to the armpits. This was a very simple dress. I made this in like an hour, and I didn't even have to reference Vroid to make it too much. I think I did for like the shadows, but I made the pattern, like the little heart pattern. I made that in Procreate, and then I just put it over the dress, and I was like, perfect. Very fun. So we'll come back to this, because I actually really, really enjoy making these. Like, it's like really fun for me. And I also like the process of rigging them up, and I just think it'd be fun. So maybe after we make a couple characters, like some of the root tubers. Maybe we'll make some for people who don't have them or something. I don't know. It'd just be fun. It'd just be fun. I love it. I'll close out of that, but yeah. And of course, double Billie, Billieception. Sometimes it's the most simple things that are the most wonderful. This is true. This is true. I've been trying to appreciate the little things more and like live life a little more slowly. I don't know. It might sound crazy, but I've been trying to like live life a little more slow. Switching to iPods instead of Spotify. Going to the grocery store, refusing to get them delivered. Things like that. Just living more slow. Making my own sauce. Making my own dinner. It's been nice. Just slowing down a little bit. And just appreciating the simple, small things in life. But I think on that note, it might be time for this goose to fly the coop. Because I want to transfer files back and forth, and I can't do that and talk to you guys at the same time, unfortunately. But I'll try not to do too much without you. Killing your eternal scrolling was a good idea. Oh, same. That's a hard one to break. Because even when you're really good about using your technology, sometimes it just happens. It happens. I think it's time for this goose to fly the coop, though. But thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I can't wait to make more of these and like work on these more with you. And so fun! I love you so much. That was the worst honk ever. Oh my god.